truth be told, once you get to a certain level within your business, within your entrepreneur journey, like, you deal with copycats. Like, it's inevitable. I'm Sarah, and this is the Mompreneur Hangout Podcast. I am so happy that you decided to come and hang out with me today. As an entrepreneur, things can get rough, and it's even harder when you're juggling all of the things while being a mom. My goal is to make this hangout spot a safe community for women just like us to be able to relate to one another, celebrate each other, and of course, succeed together on our journey of mompreneurship. If you're talking about this podcast online, use the hashtag Mompreneur Hangout Podcast or tag us to be reposted on Instagram at Mompreneur Hangout. Now that we have all of the business stuff out of the way, let's hang out. Hey y'all, today we are going to be talking all about copycats and how to deal with copycats. So I know many of us have dealt with this, and so I figured this would be a great topic to touch on, especially as a mom, especially as an entrepreneur. A lot of times we spend a lot of time coming up with content, creating the content, planning out the content in advance, and just making sure that we're standing out differently and really staying true to ourselves. And when copycats come along, it can kind of shake things up a little bit. It can kind of get us in our feelings. And so I wanted to talk today about how to deal with people who copy your work, how to deal with people who steal your idea, and how to approach a copycat. And so I know it's likely that you want to take them out back and reenact a scene from Fight Club, but listen, let's be calm. Let's take a deep breath. Let's whoosah, okay? So now that you've taken a deep breath, I'm just going to tell you something that you might not like. And trust me, I don't like it either. But ready or not, here it is. We have to get used to it. And the reason why is because if you're the first to market with a new product or an innovative idea, it's almost guaranteed that the moment you start to see success, you will suddenly be blinded by copycats. Now, if you're not talking about a business, maybe someone stole your content. No worries. I've had people do the exact same thing to me. Both, actually. And some people cropped the logo out of stuff. Some people replaced my logo. Some people even stole one of my logos. And so when it comes down to it, when you create great things, people will mimic, steal, and copy your stuff. Competition exists in all business markets, but we have to use that competition to fuel us to think faster, act more intelligently, and to really challenge our ideas on the fly. It makes us smarter, fiercer, and more successful. But like I said before, in every business, in any industry, there are always biters. Those people who will copy your ideas, your style, your design, business model, and or content to advance their own goals. Copycats are unavoidable, but how you deal with them will be the difference between achieving continued success and becoming a one-hit wonder. There are a number of tactics for dealing with copycats in business. While some are more subtle than others, each has their own benefits. Here are a few ways to deal with people copying your ideas, but before I get into them, I want to share one of my most recent experiences. So, y'all, I had 2 different experiences recently, y'all. And, y'all, they both got under my skin. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to hold y'all. God is still working on me. I'm not perfect by any means. And so let's talk about the first person, okay? So the first person, let's call her Sue. Okay, so Sue had actually reached out to me to work with me one time, and we did a small project together. Then we kind of moved on. She said that she was going to come back and get some more work done because she loved it. All right, cool, no worries. Well, Sue decided that she was going to launch a very, very, very similar business to mine. Okay, cool, no worries. We're not in competition, girl. Do you? I'm here to support you. However, y'all, if you have a Wix website, then you know that you can actually get notifications every time somebody visits your website. Well, I'm that crazy entrepreneur who has that feature set up. So each and every time somebody comes to my website, it tells me who it is if they're subscribed to my email list. And if they're not subscribed to my email list, then it tells me what area they're from. So if you're from Richmond, Virginia, and you're on my website, it's going to say site visitor from Richmond, Virginia, right? Okay, cool. So since this person was subscribed to my email list, it told me exactly who was on my website, y'all. And she was on my website on one specific page for about 2 hours. And the other hour that she was on my site, she was navigating between different pages, which let me know that she was active on my website for that long, y'all. So I personally believe, and this is just my assumption because I have not, I don't have proof of it. However, she was on my website for over 3 hours, going back and forth between certain pages that line up with her new business that she's launching soon. So I think she was copying and pasting my wording, my ideas, maybe looking at my prices, all of that stuff to duplicate it for her own business. And so that was the first, like, red flags to be like, okay, y'all, like, I'm just so open and so giving with all of the information that I share with people. And it's kind of like, girl, like, you could have just came to me, you could have asked me, like, we could have talked about it, probably for free if I'm being honest, because I'm way too nice. So when people come and they're like stealing my stuff, it's kind of, like, it takes me aback, if I can be honest with y'all. Like, if I can just be transparent as a mom, as an entrepreneur, it just takes me back, and it's just like, okay, cool. Now I know how to move forward with you. Now I know how to, like, move with you. You know what I mean? So that was like maybe 2 weeks ago, y'all. Okay, cool, no problem. So as you guys know, I relaunched my business because I rebranded to focus more on female entrepreneurs because, I'm a mom now, so all of my stuff basically caters to women. So I rebranded my entire brand to represent that, right? So with that being said, after I relaunched, I had someone reach out to me. Let's call her Sally. So we got Sue and we got Sally. So Sally reached out to me after I launched my business and told me that I, quote unquote, inspired her to launch a very similar business to mine. Y'all, when she said very similar, I didn't know that she meant this, y'all. She only switched out one word in her business name. She chose the same exact logo as me, the same color scheme as me, and even the same fonts, basically. Yes, it was extremely cringy, y'all. It was extremely cringy. And this is somebody who's, like, pretty close to me. Like, we talk on, like, a daily basis. Like, I'm like a big sister, a mentor to her, and it was kind of like a slap in the face. And I won't go into the whole story because this isn't supposed to be like a negative podcast. We're going to talk about, how to deal with these type of activities because truth be told, once you get to a certain level within your business, within your entrepreneur journey, like, you deal with copycats. Like, it's inevitable. So I don't want to go like too far into it. However, I just want you guys to know that, like, everybody goes through it. And if it's happening to you right now, you're not alone. And I also want the people who have not experienced this yet to understand how it feels to be on the other side when you are being copied. So that way they know that it's not right. Like, it's not okay. It's not acceptable. And hopefully they can understand where us business owners are coming from. So that way they won't continue to steal our work and portray it as their own. Okay, so that is the purpose of this podcast. I'm not here to talk bad about nobody, do what you do, but I'm just letting you guys know different ways as entrepreneurs, as mature entrepreneurs, how we can move forward with this type of activity that happens to so many of us. Okay? Okay, cool. So, like I said, we're going to go ahead and talk about the different ways that we can handle these copycat situations. So, the first way is to prepare our acceptance speech, right? So, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. When the copycats come out, you know you're doing something right. People who copy your approach to marketing or branding or who offer imitations of your product or service are paying you a compliment for real. Understand that they are a fan of what you do and they take comfort in the tribute that they are paying to you by copying your work. So just relax, girl, and say thank you. Accept the compliment by calling them out publicly like I did and then get back to work. So I did have a conversation with Sally about what had happened. She didn't take it the best way. However, I feel like I did my part in being honest and transparent with her, and I feel like that's all you can do. So my tip number 2 is to not let copycats kill our vibe. We have to raise the bar for ourselves and push our limits and set new challenges for ourselves. It can be frustrating to invest time, money, sweat into something just to turn around and find your competitors feasting on it. But you can't let them slow you down or stall your progress. You must keep hustling. You must. Whoever makes the first version of something is less important than the person who makes the best version. So stay focused on creating great content, products, and serving your customers well. In the end, that's what will keep you on top. The third tip that I have is to stay true to our customers and our clients. When you are building your brand, you're really focused on the needs of your clients and customers. You do everything for them to improve their lives, solve their problems, and relieve their pain points. Once success hits and the biters start biting, many people turn their attention to the copycats, becoming obsessed and paranoid in the process. Don't do that. Stay close to your audience, your fans, your clients, and customers. Make a commitment to understanding their needs and constantly innovating and forcing the copycats to try and keep up. And finally, my most favorite tip that I have is to ignore them and keep them at a distance. You have to ignore the copycats, y'all. They don't add any value to your life, so don't spend your time and energy worrying about them. If people are stealing your ideas, content, or approach, that's okay. What really matters is that people can't copy your unique experiences. They can't copy your personality or the value you deliver in your work. Stay focused on your growth, your clients, and the new experiences you are having, and forget about the rest who are falling behind and stealing your moves. Think of it this way. The more copycats you have, the bigger your fan base. Now, yeah, I know it sounds a lot simpler than it feels, but trust me, it's the way to go. Don't be afraid to speak up either. And that's going to be my last tip. While I suggest that you ignore the biters and keep doing you, at the same time, if someone blatantly rips off your content, don't be afraid to call them out on it. Speak up and talk to people and learn about why they are copying you. Get their thoughts on it and have a conversation about it. Oftentimes, it can be a misunderstanding where simply educating them on proper citation and reference practices can make a huge difference. I've seen great collaborative projects come out of this type of positive confrontation. On the other hand, I've had people completely ignore the fact that they stole from me and ultimately be left with no other option but going to someone else. The takeaway here is to always be kind to your copycats. After all, you can attract more flies with sugar and honey than with vinegar. Thank you so much, mompreneur, for hanging out with me today and taking time to focus on yourself for a few moments. If you've made it this far, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you won't miss out on our next exciting episode. Also, if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to rate this podcast and leave a review wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. It really helps me out. Until next time, follow me on Instagram at Salmonroe Media and follow the Mompreneur Hangout podcast on Instagram at Mompreneur Hangout. Remember, you are not alone. I get you, I feel you, and I'm here with you. You got this. We got this. If no one has told you they appreciate you today, please know that I appreciate you. Let's hang out again soon. New episode coming very, very soon, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned.